Dear students, in this session we will familiarize ourselves with the various plant tissue culture techniques. In this context, let us first list the tissue culture techniques, then describe callus culture, explain suspension culture, describe shoot tip culture, and explain meristem tip culture. Plant tissue culture techniques are crucial to many types of applied aspects of plant science. Plant tissue culture techniques in the past have been used in academic investigations of totipotency and the role of hormones in cytodifferentiation and organogenesis. Presently, genetically engineered tissue culture derived plants provide an understanding on plant molecular biology principles including gene regulation. Plant tissue culture techniques are also vital to advanced areas of applied plant science including plant biotechnology and agriculture. It is observed that plant products, especially secondary metabolites, can be produced from medicinally important plant species that can be cloned and cultured as suspended cells. In addition, tissue culture procedures are needed for the management of genetically engineered cells to form transgenic whole plants. Tissue culture techniques are also necessary in the development of somatic haploids from which homozygous plants can be generated very quickly. Thus, tissue culture techniques have been and still are in the limelight in academic and applied plant science. So, let us discuss in detail the various plant tissue culture techniques. Plant tissue culture includes a set of different techniques to manipulate cells. So, inside the tissue culture laboratory, the general safety precautions should be observed very strictly. Do not eat, drink or smoke during work hours. Wash hands after handling cultures and before leaving the lab. Clean up work surfaces with disinfectant before or after an activity. Sterilize through autoclave or through some other means always. Use disposable test tubes and autoclaved pipette tips for cell culture. While handling hazardous organisms, use organic safety cabinet, which is a laminar flow hood. Before beginning your work, turn on blower for several minutes. Wipe down all surfaces with 70% ethanol and use ethanol wash to clean your hands. All culture vessels, test tubes, pipette tip boxes, stocks of sterile, append of tubes, etc. should be opened only in the laminar flow hood. Maintain a uniform airflow by not overloading the cabinet and keep the exhaust grills clear in the front and back of the cabinet. For the initiation of the culture, the important considerations should be taken into account are explants selection and adopting aseptic procedure, selection of a suitable culture medium and appropriate environmental conditions for its development, and the isolation and maintenance of callus for subsequent experimentation. Depending on particular species employed and the kind of response that is desired, almost every part of a plant can be used as starting material, which is called an explant. The explants like leaf portions, isolated meristems, hypocotyls and root segments are frequently used among others. The air contains a large quantity of suspended microorganisms in the form of fungal and bacterial spores. The plant tissue is covered with pathogens on its surface. The human body, the skin, breath, etc., carries several microorganisms in it. To maintain sterile environment, all culture vessels, media and instruments used in handling tissues as well as the explant itself must be sterilized. Sterilization of the media, culture vessels and instruments is done by autoclaving. Sterilization of plant growth regulator stalks is done by filter sterilization, and explants and isolated tissues are sterilized using chemical sterilants like mercury chloride and sodium hypochlorite. The simplest method of preparing media is the use of commercially available dry powdered media containing inorganic salts, vitamins and amino acids. The powder is dissolved in purified water 10% less than the final volume of the medium, and after adding sucrose, agar and other desired supplements, the final volume is made up with purified water. The pH is adjusted and the medium autoclaved. However, in experimental work where it is necessary to make major quantitative and qualitative changes in the organic and or inorganic constituents of the medium, a more convenient and popular method is to prepare a series of concentrated stock solutions. Stocks are used for preparing working solutions as it saves time by avoiding repeated weighing of chemical for medium preparation. For example, for Murasaki and Skook medium, simply call it as MS medium, stock solutions of macronutrients, micronutrients, iron and vitamins are prepared. The concentration of the stock solutions depends on the need and utility. The stock solutions are generally stored at 4 degrees Celsius and should be checked by visual inspection before every use. It is preferable to prepare the stock solutions once in every 2 months. So, the next important topic to be discussed is the callus and callus culture. Exceedingly organized and distinguished structures like stem, leaf, root and so on form the multicellular higher plant body. Different tissue systems present in different organs operate in a highly synchronized manner. Now, if the organized tissue is sidetracked into an unorganized proliferation mass of cell by any means, they will form the callus tissue. In various parts of plant, deep wound or diseases could cause callus or callus-like tissues. In the branches and trunks of intact plants, profound and outside wound results in the formation of soft mass of unorganized parenchymatous tissues. These tissues are quickly formed on or below the injured surface of the organ. These types of callus tissue are known as wound callus. Wound callus is formed by the division of cambium tissues, parenchymatous cells of cortex, phloem and xylem rays can also find wound callus formed on them. The bacteria Agrobacterium tumefaciens and the insect called gall midge can also stimulate callus-like growth. Such callus-like growth is known as gall or tumor. In tissue culture, callus is produced experimentally from the unimportant excised portion called the explant of any living healthy plant. In culture, the excised plant tissue loses its structural integrity and changes completely to a rapidly proliferative unorganized mass of cells. This is called the callus tissue. Callus is referred to unorganized or undifferentiated rapidly multiplying mass of cells produced from secluded plant cells, tissues or organs. They are grown apically on artificial nutrient medium in glass vessels under controlled experimental environments. Primordia organ existing in shoot tips and axillary bud explants regenerate plants by micropropagation of in vitro cultures. Also, plants can be regenerated from unorganized callus tissues derived from different explants by dedifferentiation induced by exogenous growth regulator, especially auxins. Callus cultures can be maintained for a very long time by intermittent subculturing to a fresh medium. The callus culture can be manipulated for different purposes by changing the hormone concentrations in the media. Callus cultures can be used for regeneration of plantlets, preparation of single cells or suspension cultures for protoplast preparation. Callus culture can also be used for genetic transformation studies. In some instances, it is necessary to go through a callus phase prior to regeneration through somatic embryogenesis or organogenesis. Callus culture is suitable for the generation of useful somoclonal variants, either genetic or epigenetic, and can be used for in vitro selection of cells and tissue variants, which have resulted from the factors such as the existing genetic variability in somatic cells, stimulation of mutations, chromosome irregularities, epigenetic changes by the in vitro applied environmental stimuli, which includes growth factors added to the cultured cells. The competence of regeneration and the proportion of somoclonal variants are significantly subjective to the ecotype and the source of explants, as well as by the medium and growth regulators engaged. Hypocotyl and root explants thus provide excellent materials for callus initiation and regeneration in contrast to stem and leaf explants. The steps involved in the callus culture processes includes aseptic inoculation of callus in auxin containing media, induction of shoot regeneration by lowering the auxin content and increasing the cytokinin levels in the media. Transfer the elongated shoots into root induction media. Flowering and seed setting can take place in test tubes in vitro even in the absence of roots. Let us now move to study about suspension culture. Single cells, small cell groups and larger cell aggregates distributed in a liquid medium followed by active growth under aeration makes up the suspension culture. Cell suspension cultures are generally commenced by transferring the fragments of undifferentiated callus to a liquid medium. In a vessel such as Erlenmeyer flask, and the vessel places on a rotary or a reciprocal shaker, which is then agitated during the culture period. The culture conditions mainly depend on plant species among the other factors, but in general the cells are cultivated at 100 rpm on a rotary shaker at 25 degrees Celsius. By subculturing for several generations, a fine cell suspension culture containing small cell aggregates and single cell is established. The time required to establish the suspension culture varies greatly and depends on the tissue of the plant species and the medium composition. The origination of a cell suspension culture needs a reasonably large amount of callus to serve as the inoculum. When the plant material is first placed in the medium, there is an initial lag period prior to any sign of cell division. The next action of events is the cell division, where it follows an exponential rise in cell number and a linear increase in the cell density. Cells divide gradually under incubation conditions. Sometimes to find the optimum experimental conditions for cell separation becomes too difficult. The cells make themselves free from the inoculum because of the whirling action of the liquid. The term used to describe the separation of cells following cell division is friability. A gradual deceleration in the division rate is observed, and finally the cells enter a stationary or non-dividing stage. It is to be noted that the degree of cell separation of established cultures can be modified by changing the composition of the nutrient medium. In order to maintain the viability of the culture, the cells should be subcultured early during this stationary phase. Suspension is pipetted out for subculturing at a time approximating the maximum cell density. Fresh medium is added when growth starts again. The cultures are continuously propagated at regular intervals, showing similar pattern of growth. It is difficult to attain a suspension consisting entirely of free cells because daughter cells stick together soon after division. Frequent and regular subculturing is necessary for suspension cultures. Cell suspension cultures must be agitated or exposed to forced aeration. The volume of liquid in relation to the size of the flask is important for adequate aeration. The liquid medium should occupy about 20% of the total volume of the flask. The cells in suspension are also used for large scale culture with jar fermenters and tanks. The suspension cultures can be grown either as batch culture or as continuous cultures for producing phytochemicals. The cell suspension cultures can be used for inducing somatic embryogenesis and the preparation of artificial seeds, induction of somatic mutation and selection of mutations by screening the cells just like microbial cultures. The main application of plant cell suspension culture is that it can be used for the bioproduction of certain important phytochemicals or secondary metabolites by applying the principle of biochemical engineering. The suspension culture can be cultivated in specially designed bioreactors such as airlift bioreactors for the mass cell cultures for the production of plant secondary metabolites on industrial scale. Normal bioreactors with mechanical stirrer cannot be used in plant cell cultures because it can result in the breaking of cells and thereby the cell viability can be drastically reduces. Whereas the airlift bioreactor can provide both stirring and airflow to meet the high oxygen demand. The cells can also be used for genetic transformation experiments to produce transgenic plants. Let us now move on to study about shoot tip and meristem culture. Most of the crop plants, especially those propagated by vegetative means, are systematically infected with one or more pathogens. A large number of viruses are not transmitted through seeds. In such cases, it should be possible to obtain virus-free plants from infected individual plant by using their seeds as the proboscule. However, majority of the horticultural plants are propagated through vegetative means. Hence, there is a need to develop a method of virus-free plant in those plants. Though we have latest treatments to cure diseases caused by fungi and bacteria, there is no viable treatment for plants infected with virus. It is well known that the distribution of virus load in plants is uneven. Apical meristems in the infected plants are generally either free or carry a very low concentration of the viruses. The reasons proposed for the escape of the meristem from virus invasion are: meristems do not have vascular systems through which viruses move readily in a plant body. Vigorously dividing meristematic cells does not allow virus replication because of its high metabolic activity. Virus multiplication breaks in high endogenous auxin level, which is present in shoot apices. The virus inactivating systems in the plant body has higher activities in the meristem than in any other region. The knowledge of the gradient virus distribution in the shoot tips enabled Holmes in the year 1948 to obtain virus free plant from infected dahlia through shoot tip culture. Although mainly used for virus elimination, meristem tip culture has also enabled plants to be freed from other pathogens including mycoplasma, bacteria and fungi. Therefore, it is promising to produce disease free plants through apical meristem tip culture. The key objective of shoot tip and meristem culture is the production of disease free plants through micropropagation. A culture of terminal slice ranging from 0.1 to 1 millimeter of a shoot comprising the meristem with the range of 0.05 to 0.1 millimeter along with primordia and developing leaves and adjacent stem tissue is called shoot tip culture. Likewise, the in vitro culture of a shiny dome like structure which is distinct and measuring less than 0.1 millimeter in length and only one or two pairs of youngest leaf primordia that is expunged from the shoot apex is called meristem cultures. The meristem tip must be small enough to eradicate viruses and other pathogens, yet large to develop into a shoot. The excised shoot tip and meristem can be cultured on paper bridges dipping into liquid medium under appropriate conditions. The excised shoot tip and meristem when cultured aseptically on agar solidified simple Newton medium will grow out directly into a small leafy shoot or multiple shoots. Otherwise, the meristem at its cut base may form a small callus on which a large number of shoot primordia will develop. Multiple shoots grow from these shoot primordia. Later, by nodal cuttings, the shoot grown directly from the excised shoot tip or meristem can be propagated. This process involves shorting out the shoot into small segment each containing one node. The axillary bud on each segment will grow out in culture to form a yet another shoot. Cytokinins in the nutrient medium which are derived from external sources contribute a major role for the development of a leafy shoot or multiple shoots from the meristem or shoot tip. Commonly, high cytokinins and low auxins are used in combination for the culture of shoot tip of meristem. Shoot tip multiplication is induced by addition of adenine sulfate in the nutrient medium. The most effective cytokinins commonly used in shoot tip or meristem culture is BAP, NAA is most effective auxins used in shoot tip culture. Coconut milk and gibberellic acid are also equally effective for the growth of shoot apices in some cases. We have come to the end of this session. In this session, we discussed in detail the callus, suspension, shoot tip and meristem tip techniques of tissue culture. Tissue culture techniques is an aseptic method wherein by proper manipulation of the nutrients, culture conditions, temperature and hormonal level, one may be able to produce desired quality and quantity of plants. The callus culture is a technique of tissue culture. It is usually carried out on solidified gel medium in the presence of growth regulators and initiated by inoculation of small explants or sections from established organ or other cultures. Shoot tip culture is a disease elimination technique whereby pieces of the apical growing point are excised from a plant and cultured in a sterile growth media apart from the plant. Plant cell suspense cultures are widely used in plant biology as a convenient tool for the investigation of a wide range of phenomena, bypassing the structural complexity of the plant organisms in toto. The homogeneity of an in vitro cell population, the large availability of material, the high rate of cell growth and the good reproducibility of conditions make suspension cultured cells suitable for the analysis of complex physiological processes at the cellular and molecular level.